I'm really excited about talking to you about how beneficial the thyroid is. It works so hard, and so we're going to learn today what it's about. Hi friends, my name is Elaine and welcome to Beneficial Solutions. Today I want to talk to you about the benefits and importance of the thyroid gland. Now there's many things that continually cause us to become ill, but one of the many organs in the body that works so hard to keep us healthy is the thyroid. It's located in the throat and it is part of the endocrine system. The endocrine system is composed of various glands that secrete hormones. These are chemical messengers, and they carry the directions that the body needs throughout the whole body. Dr. J. Sistrunk, a member on the board of directors of the American Thyroid Association, states that hormones regulate everything in the body from metabolism to bone health. He also mentions that if you're too cold, this internal coldness where people have cold fingers and cold toes all the time, and it doesn't seem to matter how many socks or coats or gloves you put on, you just can't get warm. And it is because your thyroid is not producing enough of the needed hormones to keep your body balanced. Now this is called hypothyroidism. This is when the thyroid is producing less hormones than it's supposed to. And if you're too hot most of the time, this condition is called hyperthyroidism. In my research to tell you about the thyroid, I found this information from Dr. Amy Myers. She says that she was diagnosed with Graves' disease during her second year of medical school. She tells us that she wrote a book telling us about this whole situation with her. Her book is titled The AUTOIMMUNE Solution. She shares her personal experience and how conventional medicine failed her. She wants to empower as many people as she can with this information so that we can all be healthier. She says that when she was combating Graves' disease, she was hungry all of the time. And she ate everything she could to keep from losing weight so quickly. But she still went from a dress size 4 to a size 0 in just a few months. She learned that this was because she had an overactive thyroid, which was called hyperthyroidism. It's caused by a tiny antibody known as thyrotropin receptor antibody, which mimics the pituitary hormone and completely overrides the system. The pituitary produces the insulin for the body to have energy. So when this happens, it makes the pituitary gland work constantly. And this is also the cause of type 1 diabetes. Now, when you have an overactive thyroid, you can develop thyroid peroxidase antibodies, or TPO, or antithyroglobulin antibodies. She tells us that she had only antibodies to the TPO, which she frequently saw in her clinic as she saw her patients. There are two other forms of hyperthyroidism, which are not an autoimmune condition. It's known as toxic multinodular goiter. That's when the thyroid swells up in the throat and becomes very large. And toxic adenoma, which is a benign tumor consisting of thyroid follicular cells, which produce excessive amounts of both of the T3 and the T4. Now, these are hormones produced directly by the thyroid. These excessive amounts of both of these hormones can suppress the function of the remaining healthy thyroid tissue, causing hyperthyroidism. Dr. Amy Myers goes on to tell us how she corrected her condition. But I want to stop right here because we'll come back to what she has to say. I want to go on and mention things that the thyroid does. It works closely with the brain and the memory. If your thyroid isn't producing enough of the correct hormones and is putting out low amounts, it is linked to weak memory. Thyroid produces two important hormones, as we previously mentioned. These are released when triggered by a precursor from the brain. These hormones circulate around the entire body and to every cell, and they then trigger changes at the cellular level. These hormones control the energy level in the body, our weight. If the thyroid is producing low amounts of hormones, it can cause hair loss in both men and women. It also causes dry skin and the ability for men and women to conceive and to bear children. The information that I just mentioned was taken from a website by Dr. Westin Childs. This next information that I found, it's given by Dr. Colleen Doherty. She is from the International Headache Society. When the thyroid hormones are less or very low, they can trigger a cascade of symptoms that affect the metabolism, brain function, depression, hormonal regulation, which means it could be bipolar, headaches. There are many systems that the thyroid controls, like the heartbeat, metabolism, brain waves, weight loss, all kinds of things in the body. So it's a master organ. It regulates the whole system. The thyroid is in charge of balancing all of the body systems. Now, I want to return to Dr. Amy Myers. She tells us how she corrected her Graves' disease and got better. First, she tells us to beware of two different drugs. One is called methimazole, and it's an anti-thyroid drug. And anytime you talk about any drug, that means it's against the organ. So in this case, it's against the thyroid. The side effects of this drug are skin rashes, hair loss, vertigo. That's when you stand up and you feel like you're going to fall down. Jaundice is when your skin turns a little yellow. Aplastic anemia. Lupus-like symptoms, that's like arthritis. And hepatitis, which is an over-toxic liver. Then Dr. Amy Myers says, do not do the next radiation ablation, because after you've taken the first drug, the radiation ablation permanently kills the thyroid gland. And then the last step, of course, is to remove the thyroid. But we don't want to remove the thyroid. The thyroid is in charge of the whole body. So if you take the thyroid out, then what does the body do? So she's suggesting that we change our diet to eliminate the foods that cause the thyroid to not have enough enzymes and vitamins to keep the body balanced as needed. When we eat wheat flour that's made into bread, this wheat flour has been raised with pesticides and chemical fertilizers. It makes our bodies react to the gluten in the flours, causing havoc in our gut, causing leaky gut. This is infection produced by the stomach and the intestines. Dr. Amy goes on to tell us that in order to get well, we have to repair our gut. So in my research, I have found that we need digestive enzymes with each meal. When we're just snacking, we need digestive enzymes so that the stomach can perform what it needs to do. Also, to repair the colon, we need probiotics. And I'm suggesting that we buy the probiotics that has the 50 billion enzymes. Now you say that's a lot of enzymes, but when the probiotics are going into the colon to kill the infections, we need a lot because some of these probiotics will die off. Another thing that will help to kill the infection in the colon is an herb called pod yarko. It's very good. It's an herbal antibiotic and it will not conflict with the body. It helps to fight infections. The next thing I want to talk to you about is mercury. It's considered a heavy metal. So there's always the question, well, I'm not eating mercury. How does mercury get into my body? Well, mercury is an element. It's in the air, the water, and the soil, meaning that it's in most of the foods that we eat. We take it in through the skin or vapors in the air. It accumulates around the nerves in the body, and it can and does affect the brain and kidneys. It can also affect a growing fetus. There are many diseases that are caused by mercury in the body. I will just name a few of them, but if you want to check it out with the research, you can find that there's lots of diseases that are caused by mercury toxicity. One of the diseases is Parkinson's disease. Now, if you've watched anybody with Parkinson's disease, they have tremors in their arms and their legs, and they lose their memory, their speech is slurred. This is because the mercury wraps around the nerves of the body and takes away control. Another thing is rheumatoid arthritis, skin rashes, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, and many more. So it'd be worth our time to do the research and find out just what other diseases are out there that are caused by overtoxicity of heavy metals. We take it in by eating sushi and large fishes from the ocean. Tuna is one of these large fishes. Also, there are artificial sweeteners like high fructose corn syrup. So if you're not a fish eater, you're still probably getting mercury if you're eating the high fructose corn syrup. Now, I found 4 or 5 different research places that have listed it as having mercury in it. High fructose corn syrup is in breakfast cereal, soda pop, soup, toothpaste, etc. So we take it into our bodies in many different ways. Now there are 2 minerals that will help protect the body against these heavy metals. One of them is magnesium, another one is selenium. They are minerals that help to eliminate it from our bodies. Dr. Amy Myers says the leaky gut is caused by infections. It causes herpes, Epstein-Barr virus. The very top of her list that the thyroid needs more iodine to strengthen its ability to overcome these conditions in the body. The next herb that I would suggest is flaxseed. Flaxseed gives the body the omega-3 oils that it needs to repair damaged skin cells and organs that need it. And also, it's a very good lubrication for joints, knees, shoulders, elbows, whatever you need that extra lubrication or that extra protection for your joints. The next herb is called licorice root. Now, this is not the candy that you buy at the grocery store. It's an herb that helps the thyroid with fatigue and tiredness. The thyroid works constantly, day and night, to help us with many things. So it does get tired and it does get fatigued. So if we add licorice root to our diet, it will help to support the thyroid. The next herb that will help us is evening primrose, which helps to stop hair loss in both men and women. This is very important because we're trying to support the thyroid with these herbs. The next herb is echinacea, and most people have heard about echinacea. This works with the thyroid to build our immune system and to slow down an overactive thyroid. Now that's what we want to do, is to slow down that thyroid so that it's more balanced and even. Lemon balm is another herb that calms down a condition called ADD and ADHD. Now there are grown adults that have ADD and ADHD, but we most hear about it with children that are hyperactive. They can't sit still one moment. They're wiggling and they're jumping from here to there. This is when the brain has a hard time holding a thought for a length of time and continues to jump from one thought before finishing the first thought. Lemon balm also normalizes an overactive thyroid. Stinging nettle. If you go out camping in the woods, you know about stinging nettle. It literally will sting the skin if you come in contact with it. But taken into the body as a capsule, that sting has been reduced and it adds iodine to the thyroid to make this gland more balanced. It also slows down an overactive thyroid. The last herb that I mentioned is ginger root. It's rich in zinc, and it helps to build the immune system. It contains magnesium. Now, magnesium, as I've mentioned earlier, is very important to get rid of the mercury that could be building up in the body. And it's also rich in potassium for the heart. These herbs are needed by the body and the thyroid. I know these herbs will help the thyroid to be more balanced and to control a lot of autoimmune diseases. If you like the information that I'm reporting with these videos, please subscribe and like, and I will keep giving you information to get you well. Thank you for watching.